A night fell over Egypt, cloaking the land in darkness, but it was not the natural shadow of dusk. It was a darkness born from treachery, a darkness that would change the course of the world. Osiris, the beloved god of the Nile, had brought peace and prosperity to Egypt. His reign was a time of plenty, where the land thrived under his just and kind rule. The people sang his praises and their hearts were full, for Osiris was a king who truly cared for his subjects. Yet not all hearts were as warm. Set, the god of chaos and storms, burned with jealousy. His heart, darkened by envy, could not bear to see Osiris's joy and success. Set was a god of the desert, fierce and untamed, whose very presence brought turmoil and strife. The harmony that Osiris had created was a constant thorn in his side. The seeds of resentment grew into a roiling tempest, threatening to unleash its fury upon the peaceful kingdom. Set's envy twisted into a plan of horrific betrayal. Under the cover of night, he devised a cruel and devious plot to seize the throne for himself. Set, with his cunning and malicious intent, crafted a grand feast, inviting Osiris to a celebration meant to honor the gods. The unsuspecting Osiris, trusting his brother, attended the feast with a heart full of goodwill. As Osiris enjoyed the festivities, Set's trap sprang shut. With a brutal flash of violence, Set struck down his brother. In a fit of rage and spite, he tore Osiris's body to pieces, scattering them across the land. The once vibrant and benevolent ruler was now nothing more than fragments lost in the vast expanse of Egypt. The once thriving land fell into despair as Set declared himself the new ruler, his heart twisted by power and hatred. The world seemed to crumble. The Nile, once flowing with life, grew sluggish and dark. The people mourned, and the balance of the land was shattered. Amid this chaos, a beacon of hope remained: Isis, Osiris's devoted wife. Her grief was boundless, yet her love and determination were unwavering. The thought of her husband's remains strewn across the land drove her to the brink of despair, but it also ignited a fierce resolve within her. Isis embarked on a perilous quest to gather the scattered pieces of Osiris. Her journey was one of both physical and emotional endurance. With each piece she found, her hope grew stronger, but so did the weight of her sorrow. She ventured through the most treacherous places, braving storms and facing monstrous creatures, driven by a love that refused to be extinguished. Her search took her to the farthest reaches of Egypt and beyond, through lands both known and unknown. She was guided by the whispers of ancient magic and the deep love she held for Osiris. Alongside her, the goddess Nephthys, who shared in the mourning, offered aid and comfort. Together, they persevered, overcoming immense challenges to piece together what Set had so cruelly torn apart. When at last Isis gathered every piece of Osiris, she performed a ritual filled with profound magic and desperate hope. With her heart in her hands and her eyes brimming with tears, she called upon the power of the gods to bring her beloved back to life. The very essence of her plea resonated through the cosmos, her love and sorrow weaving a spell of resurrection. As the ritual reached its climax, a miracle occurred. Osiris, though not yet fully restored to his former self, was revived. The land, which had languished under Set's dark rule, began to feel the stirrings of life again. Even though Osiris was now confined to the underworld, his spirit lived on, and the seeds of hope were sown. From this divine union, Horus, their son, would one day rise, a beacon destined to challenge Set and restore balance to the world. The stage was set for the unfolding drama, a tale of vengeance and justice that would echo through the ages. Isis's unyielding love and her brave quest not only defied the darkness but also paved the way for Horus, who would one day reclaim his father's throne and bring light back to the land. In the shadow of Osiris's death, the world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for a spark of hope. From the sorrowful remains of Egypt's greatest king, a new figure emerged, a divine child destined to challenge the darkness and restore light. Horus, the son of Osiris and Isis, was born amidst whispers of prophecy and the weight of divine destiny. The birth of Horus was a moment of profound significance. His arrival was heralded by the gods themselves, for he was to be the avenger of his father's death and the harbinger of a new era. Isis, his mother, held him close with a heart both filled with love and burdened by fear. Set's rage was a dark cloud that hung heavy over their lives, and Isis knew that her son's very existence made him a target. To protect Horus from Set's wrath, Isis took extraordinary measures. She hid him away in the remote marshes of the Nile, where the dense reeds and swirling waters concealed their hiding place. This was a land of both beauty and danger, where mythical creatures lurked and the Nile's mist seemed to whisper secrets. Here, Isis kept her son safe, far from the prying eyes of Set and his spies. The marshes were not just a sanctuary but a place of magic and mystery. Isis used her own divine powers to shield Horus from harm. She enchanted the area, making it nearly impossible for anyone to find them. The cries of the child, though innocent and joyful, were drowned out by the natural sounds of the marsh, rustling reeds, the call of distant birds, and the gentle rush of the river. As Horus grew, so did his significance. Even as a child, he was no ordinary being. His eyes shone with the brilliance of the sun, and his spirit was fierce and unwavering. He was nurtured with stories of his father's greatness and the righteousness he was destined to restore. Isis, with every tender touch and every loving word, prepared him for the day when he would rise against Set and claim his rightful place as the ruler of Egypt. The story of Horus was woven into the very fabric of Egyptian mythology. He was more than just the son of Osiris, he was the living embodiment of divine justice and protection. As he matured, the people of Egypt came to see him not just as a child but as a symbol of hope and renewal. Horus, with his keen eyes and sharp talons, was believed to watch over the land, guarding it from evil and bringing prosperity to the people. Horus's importance in Egyptian mythology was profound. He was depicted as a powerful falcon or as a man with the head of a falcon. His keen vision was said to see beyond the ordinary, and his flight was a sign of his ability to rise above adversity. As the protector of Egypt, Horus embodied the divine right of kings and the unyielding force of justice. Under Isis's loving and vigilant care, Horus grew into a formidable figure, ready to confront Set and reclaim his father's legacy. His very existence was a testament to the enduring strength of love and the power of destiny. The divine child, hidden away and protected, was destined to emerge as a beacon of light, fighting to restore order and bring balance to the world once more. The land of Egypt, once bathed in light and prosperity under Osiris's reign, plunged into a suffocating darkness when Set seized power. After the murder of Osiris, Set's rise was swift and ruthless. His ambition knew no bounds, and his heart was a cauldron of hatred and envy. With the death of his brother, Set's thirst for control was unquenchable. He declared himself the new ruler, casting aside any pretense of justice or mercy. Set's rule was a grim contrast to the golden age that Osiris had nurtured. Where Osiris's reign was marked by harmony and flourishing life, Set's dominance brought chaos and despair. The once lush Nile, which had sustained Egypt with its fertile waters, now grew stagnant and tainted. Crops withered, and the people's hearts sank as they felt the heavy weight of Set's tyranny. His rule was not merely a change of leadership, it was a transformation of the land itself into a realm of disorder. Set, the god of storms and chaos, let his nature be reflected in his rule. He reveled in the storms he brought, tempests that raged through the skies, tearing apart the tranquility of Egypt. The desert winds, once a gentle whisper, became harsh and unyielding, as if echoing Set's cruel intent. His very presence seemed to stir the elements into a frenzy of turmoil. Under Set's harsh rule, Egypt was divided and fractured. The unity that had once been the foundation of the land was shattered. Communities were torn apart, and trust dissolved into suspicion. Set's cruelty was evident in the way he enforced his rule. His government was brutal, marked by fear and oppression. The people, who had once celebrated in the streets under Osiris's just hand, now lived in the shadow of dread, their lives a daily struggle against the tempest of Set's wrath. The chaos Set brought was not only physical but also spiritual. His reign was a stark contrast to the divine order Osiris had established. Set's dominion was a blight upon the land, where every storm and every act of violence seemed to symbolize his godly nature of disorder. The gods themselves watched in dismay as Set's rule spread darkness and suffering across the once flourishing land. Yet, Even in this darkest of times, the memory of Osiris lingered like a distant, comforting light. The stories of his reign, his kindness, his fairness, became the whisper of hope in the hearts of the people. They remembered the peace of his rule and longed for the day when justice would be restored. Set's rule, however, was a stark reminder of the fine line between order and chaos. As the god of storms and desert, Set embodied the raw, untamed forces of nature. His symbols, the chaotic storm, the fierce desert wind, stood as a testament to the power of disruption. But amid the darkness he cast, the seeds of resistance began to stir, and the land itself seemed to yearn for a savior who would restore the light and bring an end to the unrelenting storm. Horus stood at the edge of adulthood, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the sun met the Nile's embrace. The time was nearing for him to confront Set, the tyrant who had cast a shadow over his land and family. Every moment Horus had spent in hiding was now a distant memory. He was no longer just the child of prophecy but a warrior in the making, ready to challenge the darkness. The trials that lay ahead were daunting. Horus knew that to defeat Set and restore his father's legacy, he needed more than strength. He needed wisdom, strategy, and the guidance of the gods. His training was intense, not just in the art of combat, but in the subtleties of strategy and leadership. Horus's physical training was grueling. Under the watchful eyes of seasoned warriors and divine mentors, he honed his skills with the sword and shield. Each day, he battled against formidable foes, his muscles aching and his resolve tested. His training grounds were set in the sacred groves and hidden valleys where the gods themselves had once walked. Every swing of his blade, every parry, and every maneuver was a step closer to becoming the champion Egypt desperately needed. Yet, combat alone would not be enough. The gods knew that Horus needed the wisdom to match his strength. It was here that Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing, stepped in. Thoth appeared to Horus in the form of a wise ibis, his eyes gleaming with ancient knowledge. With Thoth's guidance, Horus learned to read the signs of the times and to strategize with the precision of a master tactician. Thoth's lessons were a blend of deep wisdom and practical strategy. He taught Horus to understand the complexities of his enemies and the intricacies of warfare. The god of wisdom guided Horus through scrolls of ancient knowledge, filled with stories of battles won and lost, of heroes and gods who shaped the world. Each lesson was a thread in the intricate tapestry of Horus's preparation, weaving together his physical prowess and intellectual insight. The trials were not just about mastering skills, but also about forging a spirit of resilience. Horus faced many tests of character, moments when doubt and fear threatened to overpower him. In these moments, Thoth's wisdom was a beacon. The gods' counsel gave Horus clarity, allowing him to see beyond the immediate pain and struggle to understand the larger purpose of his quest. As Horus trained, the weight of his destiny bore down on him. The vision of his father's death and Set's harsh rule drove him to push his limits. Every drop of sweat, every bruise, and every sleepless night was a testament to his determination. He knew that the path to victory would not be easy and that the trials he faced were but a prelude to the great battle that awaited. In the quiet moments between his training sessions, Horus would sit with Thoth, absorbing the god's wisdom like a sponge. They discussed strategies, analyzed potential weaknesses, and explored the ways to overcome Set's chaotic influence. Thoth's guidance was more than just practical, it was a source of spiritual strength that fortified Horus's resolve. The bond between Horus and Thoth grew strong. The god's presence was a reminder that Horus was not alone in his fight. The wisdom imparted by Thoth was a shield as much as it was a sword, protecting Horus from the mental and emotional toll of his journey. The guidance he received was not just about winning battles, but about understanding the heart of his enemy and the essence of leadership. As Horus's training reached its peak, he stood ready. His body was strong, his mind sharp, and his spirit unyielding. With the support of Thoth and the other gods, he was equipped to face Set's tyranny. The trials had shaped him into a formidable warrior, one who would not only challenge Set's physical strength, but also outwit his chaos with the clarity of divine wisdom. The time was drawing near when Horus would step into the light, prepared to restore balance to Egypt and fulfill his destiny. The sky above Egypt crackled with energy, charged with the intensity of a battle that would determine the fate of the land. Horus, fierce and determined, faced his greatest adversary, Set, the god of chaos. The confrontation between these two was not just a fight for the throne, it was a clash of cosmic forces that embodied the struggle between order and chaos. Horus, with the grace and power of a falcon, soared high above the battlefield. His feathers ruffled in the wind as he circled his opponent, eyes sharp and focused. Set, in his monstrous form as a hippopotamus, was a force of brute strength and destructive power. His eyes glowed with a feral light, and his massive body churned the earth as he prepared for the battle ahead. The first clash was nothing short of legendary. Horus's talons slashed through the air with precision, while Set's enormous jaws snapped and roared with ferocity. The earth itself seemed to tremble with the force of their combat. Each strike and counterstrike was a testament to their power, Horus's speed and agility against Set's raw might. The very elements seemed to reflect their struggle, as dust and sand swirled around them, adding to the chaos of their battle. Their forms shifted with the ebb and flow of combat. Horus would dart in with the swiftness of a falcon, pecking at his opponent with calculated strikes, only to retreat to the skies before Set's retaliatory blows could land. Set, relentless and powerful, charged with the weight of a storm, his movements creating shockwaves that reverberated through the ground. The battle raged on, each clash of their forms a spectacle of divine fury. The symbolic significance of their fight was immense. Horus represented Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian concept of order, balance, and harmony. His every move was a testament to the divine order he sought to restore. Set, on the other hand, embodied Isfet, the chaotic force that sought to dismantle the world and plunge it into disorder. Their battle was more than a physical confrontation, it was the embodiment of a cosmic struggle that shaped the very essence of existence. As the battle continued, it became clear that the outcome was not just about who was stronger or faster, but about the fate of the world itself. Horus's strikes were not merely attacks, but symbols of justice and righteousness. Each successful blow was a step towards restoring balance and re-establishing the harmony that had been lost. Set's attacks, filled with rage and destruction, were a reminder of the chaos that could consume everything if left unchecked. The turning point came when Horus, using the wisdom and strategy he had learned, anticipated Set's moves and struck with a precision that was both beautiful and deadly. With a final, breathtaking maneuver, Horus's talons found their mark, and Set, the embodiment of chaos, was forced to retreat. The skies cleared, and the land, once plagued by Set storms, began to breathe a sigh of relief. The epic confrontation between Horus and Set was not just a battle for the throne of Egypt, but a powerful reminder of the eternal struggle between order and chaos. As Horus stood victorious, his form casting a long shadow over the land, the people of Egypt felt the weight of his triumph. The battle had restored hope and rekindled the light of Ma'at in a land that had been darkened by chaos. The legend of Horus and Set lived on as a testament to the enduring power of order over disorder and the promise of a new dawn for Egypt. The air crackled with anticipation as the gods of Egypt assembled in their celestial court, their eyes turned toward the dramatic showdown between Horus and Set. The outcome of the battle, and with it the fate of Egypt, was now to be decided not just by strength, but by the judgment of the divine. Ra, the sun god, stood at the heart of this divine assembly. His presence was a radiant beacon, his golden chariot blazing across the heavens. The gods gathered around him, their forms shimmering with the power and authority that only the divine could wield. Horus and Set, both still bearing the marks of their fierce struggle, were summoned to present their cases before the assembly. Ra's gaze was penetrating, his connection to both combatants making him the central figure in this cosmic tribunal. To Horus, Ra was a symbol of light and justice, the guiding force that brought order to the universe. To Set, Ra represented the fierce, unyielding power of the sun, a reminder of the chaos that was being held in check. As the gods settled into their places, the trial began. Horus, with his eyes full of determination and his heart burning with the desire to restore order, spoke first. He recounted the trials he had endured, his voice resonating with the strength and clarity of his mission. His words were a plea for justice, a call for the gods to recognize his struggle as a fight for balance and harmony in the land of Egypt. Set, standing in defiant grandeur, countered with his own claims. His voice was thunderous, filled with the raw power that had marked his rule. He spoke of his vision for the world, a world that he believed could thrive under his reign of chaos. His arguments were laced with the force of the storms he wielded and the dark allure of his power. The gods listened intently, their expressions shifting from stern to contemplative. The judgment they were about to render was not merely a matter of right or wrong, but a reflection of the cosmic balance that governed all things. The gods' eyes darted between Horus and Set, weighing the righteousness of their causes and the consequences of their actions. Ra, as the god of the sun, had the final say. His voice was like the rising sun, casting light on the hidden truths and revealing the essence of the arguments presented. As he spoke, his words seemed to echo through the heavens, resonating with the power of divine authority. Ra's judgment would not only decide the fate of Horus and Set, but also determine the future of Egypt itself. The moment of judgment was electric. The gods held their breath as Ra's gaze turned to Horus, whose resolve shone through the sweat and dust of battle. Horus's commitment to restoring order, to bringing light back to a land darkened by Set's chaos, was palpable. His heart, brave and true, was a beacon of hope for the people of Egypt. Ra's eyes then fell upon Set. The god of storms and chaos, while formidable, had brought suffering and division to the land. His vision of power, though grand, was marred by the disorder and destruction that followed him. The contrast between Set's chaotic rule and Horus's quest for balance was stark and undeniable. With a voice that carried the weight of the heavens, Ra rendered his judgment. The divine assembly listened in silence as the decision was announced, the fate of Egypt hanging in the balance. Ra's ruling was a reflection of the cosmic order, a decision that would restore the land to its rightful state and affirm the values of justice and harmony. As the gods departed, their divine forms dissolving into the celestial light, the outcome of the trial was clear. The sun god's judgment had set the course for Egypt's future, ensuring that the balance of order would be restored and that the chaos of Set's rule would be subdued. The divine intervention marked a new chapter in the land's history, one where the struggle between light and darkness, order and chaos, had been resolved by the ultimate authority of the gods. In the heat of battle, as Horus clashed with Set, his fierce gaze and unyielding spirit were matched only by the fierce winds and thunder of the storm god. But amidst the tumult, a tragic symbol of Horus's struggle emerged. The eye of Horus was shattered. The eye, once a perfect emblem of divine power and protection, now bore the scars of combat, a poignant reminder of the fight for balance and justice. The damage to the eye was more than just physical. It symbolized the cost of Horus's quest, the price of maintaining order against the forces of chaos. The eye, an ancient symbol revered for its power and protection, now stood fractured, its once mighty energy diminished by the ravages of war. The broken eye was a stark representation of the vulnerability even the greatest gods faced in their battle against darkness. But hope was not lost. Thoth, the wise god of wisdom and writing, saw the significance of this shattered symbol. With a heart full of compassion and a mind sharp with divine knowledge, Thoth stepped forward to restore what was broken. His actions were driven by a deep understanding of the eye's importance, not just as a symbol, but as a beacon of healing and protection for the people of Egypt. Thoth worked with meticulous care, using his ancient wisdom to mend the eye. His touch was gentle, yet filled with profound power, as he reconstituted the eye of Horus into its former glory. Through his efforts, the eye was not merely repaired but transformed. No longer just a symbol of divine vision, it became a potent emblem of healing, protection, and royal authority. Thoth's restoration imbued the eye with a new layer of significance, turning it into a powerful charm for safeguarding against harm and ensuring prosperity. The renewed eye of Horus held deep meaning in Egyptian society. It became a symbol of divine protection, ensuring that those who wore it or invoked its power were shielded from evil and misfortune. The eye's restoration by Thoth was seen as a divine blessing, a gift that carried with it the strength and wisdom of the gods. It was a sign that order had been restored and that the forces of chaos had been held at bay. The eye's new role as a symbol of healing reflected not just a physical mending, but a broader restoration of balance and harmony in the world. Culturally, the Eye of Horus resonated deeply within Egyptian society. It was more than just an emblem, it was a source of hope and strength. The eye was commonly used in amulets, jewelry, and in rituals to protect individuals and the community. It was a visible sign of divine favor and a reminder of the god's watchful presence over the land. Its influence stretched from the lives of ordinary people to the highest echelons of power, reinforcing the connection between the divine and the earthly realms. In every corner of Egypt, the Eye of Horus stood as a testament to the resilience of divine will and the triumph of order over chaos. It was a symbol of the god's intervention and a reflection of their care for the land and its people. The story of its damage and restoration echoed through the annals of Egyptian mythology, reminding all who looked upon it of the struggles faced and the divine protection that watched over them. The Eye of Horus, now fully restored and imbued with new meaning, became a cherished emblem of Egyptian culture. It was a symbol of not only the power and authority of Horus, but also the healing and wisdom of Thoth. In every glance upon its sacred form, the people of Egypt were reminded of their divine guardians and the enduring strength of their beliefs. In the heart of the great cosmic theater, a moment of profound resolution unfolded as Horus stood triumphant. The gods had spoken, their judgment clear and their decision final. Horus, with his unwavering spirit and unyielding fight for justice, was declared the rightful ruler of Egypt. The air was thick with the weight of this divine proclamation, and a wave of relief and triumph washed over the land. The victory was not just a personal triumph for Horus, it was a monumental turning point for Egypt itself. Under Set's rule, the land had suffered. Chaos and darkness had reigned, casting a long shadow over the people and their daily lives. But now, with Horus ascending to the throne, a new dawn broke over Egypt. The land, once torn apart by strife, began to heal. The peace and order that Horus represented were more than just symbols, they were the promises of a better future, a future where harmony and balance would be restored. The impact of Horus's victory was immediate and profound. The temples and streets, once filled with the anxiety of uncertain times, now echoed with celebrations and songs of joy. People looked to their new ruler with hope and admiration, seeing in him the embodiment of divine justice and protection. Horus, with his powerful wings and sharp gaze, was not just a king, he was a beacon of light guiding Egypt out of the darkness that had shrouded it. Yet, even as Horus celebrated his triumph, the fate of Set was a reminder of the complex balance of the cosmos. Defeated but not destroyed, Set was not cast out but was instead given a role that ensured the balance of the universe. Though his reign of chaos had ended, Set's presence remained vital in the grand tapestry of existence. His role was now one of necessary balance, ensuring that the forces of disorder were kept in check, even as Horus's rule restored order and peace. The god's decision was a testament to the intricate dance of power and balance that governed the universe. Set's fate was a recognition of his place in the cosmic order, serving as a counterbalance to the peace that Horus would bring. The balance between order and chaos was a fundamental part of the world, and Set's role, though diminished, was still crucial. His presence reminded everyone that even in victory, the world remained a complex place where the forces of good and evil, order and chaos, were always in delicate equilibrium. As Horus took his place as the ruler, the Eye of Horus, now a symbol of protection and power, became a sign of the new era. The land flourished under his reign, and the people's hearts were uplifted. The victory of Horus was a moment of great significance, a turning point that restored not only the physical realm of Egypt, but also the very essence of justice and order that had been disrupted. Horus's triumph was a victory for all who had yearned for peace and balance. It was a reminder of the enduring power of hope and the belief that righteousness would ultimately prevail. The echoes of this victory reverberated through the land, a powerful testament to the strength of divine will and the enduring promise of a world where justice could triumph over chaos. In the wake of Horus's monumental victory, a new chapter in Egypt's history began. Horus, now firmly seated on the throne, brought a sense of unity and hope that had been absent for too long. His reign marked a glorious era of peace and prosperity, uniting Upper and Lower Egypt under one banner. This was not just a political achievement, but a profound symbol of divine harmony and strength. As the pharaoh, Horus embodied the very essence of kingship. The people of Egypt saw him not merely as a ruler, but as the living manifestation of Horus, the god who had triumphed over chaos. His presence on the throne was a daily reminder of the god's favor and the divine right of kings. Each ruler that followed Horus was seen as his earthly counterpart, a mortal embodiment of the divine power and justice that Horus represented. The unity of Egypt under Horus's rule was more than just political consolidation, it was a powerful symbol of cosmic order. Horus's ability to unify the land demonstrated the triumph of Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian concept of truth, balance, and order. This unity was celebrated in rituals and ceremonies that honored Horus and reaffirmed the pharaoh's role as the protector and preserver of Ma'at. The land flourished under his guidance, with peace and stability becoming the hallmark of his reign. Horus's legacy was deeply ingrained in Egyptian kingship. Every pharaoh who followed carried the mantle of Horus, not just as a title but as a sacred duty. The divine right of kings was firmly established through Horus's rule. The people believed that their king was a direct link to the divine, a living god who ensured that Ma'at would continue to reign. This belief was central to Egyptian society, reinforcing the idea that the pharaoh was the earthly representative of Horus, guiding the land with divine wisdom and strength. The myth of Horus also played a crucial role in reinforcing the continuity of Ma'at. By portraying Horus as the ultimate victor over chaos and disorder, the myth underscored the importance of maintaining balance and justice. The pharaoh, as Horus's earthly representative, was seen as the guardian of this divine order. The stability of the kingdom and the prosperity of its people were believed to be directly linked to the pharaoh's ability to uphold Ma'at. Horus's reign became a symbol of the eternal connection between the divine and the earthly. His story was recounted in temples and royal inscriptions, serving as a powerful reminder of the divine mandate that guided the pharaohs. The legacy of Horus was not just a historical fact, but a living tradition that shaped the very fabric of Egyptian rule. The people looked to their rulers with trust and reverence, knowing that they were the inheritors of Horus's divine strength and wisdom. The impact of Horus's reign was felt in every corner of Egyptian life. The unity and prosperity he brought were celebrated in art, literature, and religious practices. His name was invoked in prayers and rituals, and his image was depicted in the grand temples and monuments that dotted the landscape. Horus's legacy was a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of divine justice and order. In the end, Horus's reign was a profound statement of the enduring bond between the gods and their people. It reinforced the belief in a just and ordered world, guided by the divine principles of Ma'at. The story of Horus was more than a myth, it was a living truth that continued to inspire and guide the people of Egypt through the ages. In the echoes of ancient Egypt, the struggle between Horus and Set continues to resonate with timeless power. This myth, steeped in divine drama and cosmic conflict, tells a story that transcends the ages. The battle between Horus and Set is not just a tale of gods, it embodies the eternal clash between order and chaos, a theme that speaks to the very core of human experience. The legacy of this myth is palpable in the art, rituals, and culture of ancient Egypt. Temples and tombs are adorned with scenes of Horus's triumph, symbolizing the victory of order over the dark forces of chaos. The Eye of Horus, a powerful symbol of protection and healing, serves as a constant reminder of the divine struggle that shaped the destiny of the land. This symbol, etched into jewelry and monuments, was more than an ornament, it was a token of hope and a pledge of divine favor. Rituals dedicated to Horus and Set were not mere ceremonies, they were reenactments of the cosmic battle that ensured the continuation of Ma'at, the principle of cosmic balance. These rituals connected the present with the divine past, allowing the people to participate in the eternal struggle that defined their world. Through these ceremonies, Egyptians sought to align themselves with Horus's strength and secure protection against the forces of disorder. The myth's influence extended to Egyptian art, where the images of Horus and Set were depicted in vivid detail. Horus, with his falcon head, represented the pinnacle of divine kingship and justice. Set, with his chaotic and formidable form, was a constant reminder of the ever-present threat of disorder. The art captured not just their forms, but the essence of their eternal conflict, making the struggle between them a visible part of daily life. In the broader context, the story of Horus and Set speaks to universal themes of justice, revenge, and balance. The narrative of Horus's quest to avenge his father and restore order reflects a deep-seated human desire for justice. It is a story of resilience, where the hero's struggle against overwhelming odds becomes a testament to the power of righteousness. This quest for justice, embodied by Horus, resonates with the universal experience of fighting for what is right and overcoming adversity. The myth also underscores the concept of cosmic balance, a theme that transcends the borders of ancient Egypt. The struggle between Horus and Set serves as a powerful metaphor for the ongoing battle between order and chaos in all aspects of life. It is a reminder that balance must be constantly maintained, and that the forces of disorder must be kept at bay to ensure the stability of the world. The enduring appeal of the Horus and Set myth lies in its profound depiction of the human condition. It captures the essence of our collective struggle to find balance in a world where chaos constantly threatens to unravel order. The myth is more than a historical tale, it is a reflection of our deepest fears and hopes, a narrative that continues to inspire and resonate with people across cultures and ages. The story of Horus and Set is a powerful testament to the enduring power of myth and its ability to capture the timeless struggles that define the human experience. Through its vivid portrayal of divine conflict and cosmic balance, the myth remains a touchstone for understanding the forces that shape our world and our place within it.